Okay, so Salam alaikum. I want to thank everybody for joining us here on a Zoom in on the Halal Metropolis episode. We're trying to document how the Muslim community of the Metro Detroit area is being affected by the coronavirus. So I'm here today to talk to Chami about the work he's been doing to pull together the Suhoorfest, a very popular festival that took place last year and the year before, attracting crowds of up to 10,000 people on the weekends during Ramadan. So, hi, Haj Has, how are you doing?
Well, Sally, thank you for having me. Nice to see you again.
Am I recording? I am
It's
recording.
okay.
Okay, good. Let me see. I'm not sure I'm recording.
Yeah, it says recording on the top left.
Okay, good. Okay, sorry. This is our first episode, folks. So there might be a few technical glitches. So why don't you first just tell me really quickly about the festival and how it came together, just really quickly.
How it came together a few years ago, we just did a trial run. I'm bringing all the vendors in the city who were on different corners and different parking lots together to one parking lot. And after that first weekend where I met you, we realized it was definitely a success and it was in demand. And so last year was where we really put it together. We structured it correctly, we organized it, and it was definitely a success. So this year was supposed to be even larger. We signed a contract with Fairlane Town Center, a multi-year deal. We were going to use the Sears parking lot, which was we had over, I think, 90,000 square feet to use, maybe even more. So it was going to be massive. But then the coronavirus happened, and deep down, I sort of felt like I had to cancel the event, but I delayed it a little just to see where it went. And then a few weeks ago, we announced that we're canceling.
Yeah. So what does this mean for you? What does it mean for the community?
So the community is bummed out, but it's, our hands are tied. There's nothing anyone can really do. So we're just going to make the most of it. So it is a festival where people come together and we have a good time and we celebrate with one another. But one of the pillars of the festival is charity. And so we're going to continue with that mission. And so we're raising funds. Some of the sponsors and some of the vendors left their deposits with us so we can donate that to charity. What we're going to do is we also started a GoFundMe page so the community can donate. And we're purchasing medical supplies, specifically masks, and we're going to hand deliver them to local hospitals in the city.
Okay. So, and we'll put a link to your GoFundMe campaign when we finish this project so people can reach it when they see the video. But I'm also wondering, so everybody's asking this question, what's going to happen with Ramadan this year? Because people are going to be isolated, only able to celebrate with their families in their homes. So you want to tell me what your thoughts are about how we can create a sense of community here during Ramadan?
I've thought about it so many times. With my extended family, we do Zoom, one of these chats with all the cousins and the aunts and uncles, and we'll mess around for a little bit. But I don't think that's some other journalists were asking me if, hey, would you guys be doing some Zoom iftar dinners? I don't think so. It doesn't really work that way. So usually with Ramadan, what we do is during the weekdays, my family, my wife and my kids and my sisters and their kids and husbands, we eat every single night at my parents' house. So this year's going to be different. I haven't hugged my mom and dad in a month. I'll see them through the window. I'll give them a kiss through the window, but we're not going to be having dinner there, which is going to be very different because Ramadan is a time where the community really feels that community and family feel. You're having dinner every single night with one another. And then in the evenings, later on in the evenings towards midnight, you're getting together with your friends after the mosque and whatnot. You'll leave the mosque, you'll do your duties of worship, and then you get together with your friends, and you'll either go to the festival or you'll go to a local bakery, like King's Bakery or Dearborn Heights Meat Market. They also had some great food last year. So this year's gonna be different. I mean, it's gonna be a little boring, but I also, looking at it from a positive perspective, I think it's a great time for us to take advantage of this time and connect with our Lord. There is no worldly distractions at the moment. I mean, financially, the world is at a hold. From even social media, everything's paused. People are getting sick of the going live on Instagram and Facebook. It gets a little boring after a while. There's only so many podcasts you could listen to. So I think for me, myself and my wife and my family, we're trying to build that connection with God, to do more to build spiritually and within our own family with my daughter, my son, and my wife. So I think that's the best that's going to come out of it.
Well, that's a beautiful answer.
Yeah.
I do wonder, I had a thought that maybe one thing you could do, and I don't know if this would create more trouble or if it would, but it would be supportive of the small businesses who were planning to be your vendors. If maybe, you know, you could have a like a drive-through kind of thing, like where the vendors were, because a lot of them were food trucks and they actually have food trucks. So, and if a lot of them are family run businesses, so if it was a husband and wife team making the food and they were, you know, if they're people who were in quarantine together, they could maybe work on the truck together. You could do some sort of drive-through thing where people would, you know, pay ahead of time by plastic, you know, so that there would be no transaction other than the passing over of the food. But that might be really complicated
No,
to
it's a great idea. It's a great idea. And part of the food festival is to give these families who don't own restaurants, because some own restaurants and some own just food trucks, you know, do it as a hobby. So part of the food festival is to give them the exposure and to help them make extra money and whatnot. And so the idea is great, but it's a big responsibility just because of the virus. And it can, like, for instance, I own the Terry Melt, as you know, it's a restaurant down the road from the pharmacy. And what we did was 2 weeks ago we closed before, like we were doing carry out and delivery, and then I just told my dad, hey dad, we got to close. And he goes, why? You know, we're taking precautions. I said, there's too many uncontrolled variables, from the guy delivering the bread to the guy delivering the meat and the employees coming in, and you can't control where everyone's going. You know, you can't control if my employees are, you know, they're with their family, but you don't know if their father is, you know, at work and someone else gets sick. There's too many uncontrolled variables. So it's a big responsibility. It's awesome if you think about it. You know, it sounds good on paper, but then again, it probably won't happen. It won't happen.
You know, I appreciate that response. Yeah, I'm just trying to, you know, fantasize because I want the festival to be open so much myself personally. But you're a pharmacist, you're a healthcare worker, right? So you take this. I appreciate the fact that you're taking the stay-home orders seriously, and you're already managing one business where you have to take care of your employees, and where you have to try and protect your health and your family's health, and that of course comes very first at the very top of the list. So. So I commend you on this attitude.
Oh, thank you. No, you know what? Like, before people were taking it serious, I locked the front doors of the pharmacy and I put a letter. And I said, hey, thank you for coming. If you need anything, give us a call. We'll give you curbside service. We'll bring out your medications. We'll bring in your prescriptions, type them up for you. My employees were like, wait, are you serious? I said, I don't think you guys understand how serious this is. Just based off just the math, doing the math, just so how fast it gets spread. You know, so and then even with the Terry Melt, the restaurant, we locked the doors way before the executive order of carry out only. And so then people started, because we were trying to set an example, like, hey, I think guys, we cannot contribute to the spread of the disease. We need to limit things. And now I'm happy that a lot of people are doing that as well. Also, there's been a lot of restaurants in Dearborn who, in the beginning, a lot of us were donating to healthcare workers. I'm not sure if a lot of people know that there was a lot of restaurants like Big L's Pizzeria and the Terry Melt and many others were donating free food to the hospitals. But now a lot of them closed as well, because it was to the point where, regardless of if you're making money or not, there's too many uncontrolled variables, too many people in and out, there's too much contact.
Yeah, the supply side of it is something that people who aren't in the restaurant business don't think about. So I totally get that. I totally appreciate that. Well, okay, that's why I wanted to check in with you to find out what the story is on Suhoorfest, so we can get the word out, which we will do. We're very sorry. I'm looking forward now to visiting Suhoorfest 2021, I guess. And are there any final words you want to offer to people?
Just, you know, stay safe, you know, use this time to reflect, you know, build yourself as a better person. We can all get better, speaking to myself first and foremost. And, you know, spend time with your family, stay safe. And hopefully if we all quarantine and we all take these measures to the extreme, the virus will be gone sooner or later. So, you know, and I hope we'll see you guys next year at the Ramadan Festival 2021. We got some plans, and it's going to be bigger and better than ever.
Okay. Thank you, Haj Has. Salam alaikum, everybody. And please check in again. We're going to be posting these things once or twice a day with interviews with all sorts of people. And if you have a story to share, get in touch with us. We'd be happy to hear your story as well. Thank you, Hassan.
No problem. Thank you. Bye.